All right, what's up, guys? This is Garrett with Q6 Cleaning Solutions.
And Tim here as well. How y'all doing?
We got our marketing guy, Baylor. We've been with him right now a little over a year. We talked a few weeks ago about scheduling a call. We want to get his name out there. He's worked wonders for us. So we'll jump straight into it. So first thing, who are you? What do you do? And how long have you been in business?
Yeah, so my name is Baylor, owner of Web PDX. I've been doing digital marketing, been doing this at it since 2008, so about 15 years now. Um, yes, we're a full service digital agency. We do everything from Google Ads, lead generation, SEO, custom websites, review generation, just everything that service based business needs to be successful online.
Yeah, sweet. So I imagine most of the people who are watching our videos are in the pressure washing world. So talk a little bit about what importance you can bring to the table. Why is what you do important for a company to factor into their, ad spend or marketing?
Yeah, for sure. I've worked with a lot of, I specialize in home services. I would say like over 85% of our clients are home service businesses, from roofers to painters to remodelers. I mean, you name it. If it comes to home service, we work with them. We started working with pressure washing companies, like I would say like 2 years ago. And the first few months, we did what structure a campaign the right way and all this stuff, but like every industry is a little different. So it's like you have to know pressure washing in order to market it well. We knew. So now, 2 years after doing it, like I said, a little bit of a learning curve, but now we know everything from like what keywords convert, what keywords don't convert. A lot of people think that I want to show up for pressure washing, but we know historically pressure washing isn't a high converting keyword. We want to show up for longer tail, high intent keywords like pressure washing service near me, or a local pressure washing company, roof cleaning companies in my area or near me. So just really high intent type of keywords. So that's kind of what we've learned working with pressure washing companies. And every market's a little different, and so what works in one market may not work 100% what another market. It's really funny like that. So, and everything down to the keywords, the ad copy, to the landing page is just super important to have certain things in place that we see need to be in place in order to have a successful campaign.
Yeah, absolutely. Why would somebody hire you versus just trying to learn how to do, SEO? I know you mentioned that. Maybe talk a little about what that means for somebody who doesn't already know, or who maybe is just getting taken off, or maybe they've already got a business that just isn't really generating like it should be. But why would somebody reach out to, an ad guy, a marketing guy, you in this case particularly, to have this done?
Yeah, I think it's just knowing if we're talking SEO, what strategies to implement. There's a lot of on page. We look at a lot of websites, like your guys' website, super dialed. A lot of content on there. So everything on page can be spot on. But then some companies won't have a lot of the off page stuff. And that's where we really come in. And off page, like backlinks and link building, and really just the signals that Google needs in order to deem a business, it's really, Google comes down to how much do they trust your business, and how much relevance do you have? Like, how much information are you providing people? And if you don't have links, meaning your website is linked to another website linking back to your site, they're just not going to deem you as very relevant. So it's going to hurt how you show up organically, above, both in the maps and then also below the maps. So those are all things that, we really look at. We run a full report of a company's website showing, all the missing elements. Why aren't they ranking? Shows a full report of all the keywords, how they're ranking for these keywords, and what parts are missing. So when you hiring a company like ours, we take everything into account like that. And then on the Google Ads side of things, again, like I told you before, it's knowing the keywords that convert, that don't. A lot of people will just wash money away through Google, and it doesn't work. You know, they say, "Oh, I'm trying Google Ads, it didn't work."
We were literally just talking about that. I mean, that's the main reason that we got in contact with you is that we tried it ourselves. We really did. We said, we probably don't need anybody. We put whatever keywords we thought would be good. And then the next thing you know, we check our Google AdSense or ad report and we're spending a bunch of money on stuff that we didn't think we were. And then certain keywords we're spending we spent like 70, $80 on one click one time. We were like, all right, let's just leave it to a professional. Let's do what we do best and let somebody like you do what you do best.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's pretty wild. Like when you have to monitor it daily because then you just start getting, you look at it a week later and you're like, okay, I just spent $600 and I didn't get one lead.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So that's why we monitor everything daily. And as long as somebody's willing to give us enough ad budget, and willing to work with us, not like, hey, let me try it for a month, because that month may be a complete bust, and it happens. Like full transparency, like that can happen. We have guys that say, hey, give us, $700-800 a month budget, where that's $25 a day, and in a market where it's could be 12, 13, 14, $15 a click, it's really hard to get amazing results, especially month one when we're still in that learning phase, when we're still in the what Google considers a ramp up period.
Yeah.
And we're still trying to build our quality score, get our cost per click down. Google's trying to understand what we're doing. So all these things take into account. So yeah, I mean, we hear it a lot, man. Auditing accounts is just it's crazy. Like seeing the type of junk keywords that they're getting clicks for. Like I had a guy. This was like what 2-3 weeks ago. He changed all of his clicks to broad match, which is if you've ever ran your ads, broad match can show up for anything. Like roof cleaning, broad match term resulted to moss on roof. You got to click for a moss on roof or no algae on roof, algae on roof.
Yeah.
And just so many like competitors' names and just junk, such irrelevant clicks. And I'm like, man, you got to switch this back. And he's like, oh, I didn't know. All I saw was I was getting $7 a click versus $15. I'm like, yeah, but look at your keywords. None of this is one converting, and two, none of it's relevant.
Yeah. And like Timmy said, we ran into that early on. I'm sure a lot of people will run into that because until you really dive in, and this isn't something that you'll, understand completely. We still don't understand it completely. But certainly guys getting into it, all they want is the phone to ring. That's all everybody wants. So this is a really good, route to take, but you said it yourself, and we experienced it as well. Our first month with you last year, was no real difference. Now that was January or February. So number one, it's the beginning of our venture. And then number two, it is the off season. And I'm sure we'll talk about that a little bit more later on, what to expect, and how to handle, business with you. But while we're talking about the Google stuff, SEO work, what is SEO? And I know we've kind of talked about keywords and stuff like that, so you don't have to circle back, but what is SEO?
Yeah, SEO is just optimizing your site so that you show up organically. The goal is to show up, you're obviously going to probably show up in the map, the 3-pack is what they call it. When you do a search, at your business address, but you go 2-3 miles out, do you still show up, and how many keywords do you show up for? And then under that is where SEO really comes into play, and that's called the organics on Google. Again, a lot of on-page stuff. You want to have a lot of content on your site, but then also the off-page stuff to send the right signals to Google so that they know that you're relevant and that you're a trustworthy company. There was a marketing guy that got in a room with execs with Google. He's like, I don't even know how he got there. He's a guy that markets for attorneys. And he's like, we were in this room and we were shocked at what they were saying. They're not in this to promote your business. They make money on ads, but they're an informational site. They want to provide search queries based off of what their people are looking for. And so a lot of people don't understand that when you start kind of having that mentality, it's like, or knowing that, and it's like, okay, well, how can I provide more information on my site? Because Google's going to read that again as you guys being authoritative, trustworthy. So that's a big element to SEO, and that's why a lot of companies will have FAQs on their site. and just a ton of content. That's how you get indexed on there. And then obviously the link building and a bunch of off-page stuff. So it's just a combination of both.
Yeah. So, what are backlinks and what are their importance? You've mentioned that term a few times. So, for
Yeah.
anyone who's uneducated in that particular field, tell everybody what a backlink is.
So the easiest way I can explain it is like Yelp. You have your business is listed on Yelp. Your business name, your phone number, your business description, and your website is indexed on there. That is linking to your website. That's considered essentially a backlink. Okay. MapQuest, your website is linked on there. MapQuest is obviously a big site. Google deems it as authoritative site. Yelp, all these online major big name directories. So you want to be listed on all these major directories, but there's a lot more other sites that have what they call a good domain, a high domain authority, which domain authority means that Google deems it again as relevant, as a authoritative site. And you should, the more of those links that you get linking back to your site, the signals that it sends is you guys are a real deal company, and Google will start to rank you higher. And also just getting more reviews, responding to your reviews. You always want to make sure you're responding to reviews and using keywords. Like if somebody says, "Hey, they did a great job," but they didn't really explain what you did, say, "Hey, that's great. We love doing roof cleaning in the Belmont, North Carolina area." Using those Google wants to see activity from you guys. So, I could go on and on about this, but for the sake of keeping this video, not too lengthy, there's just little things like that. And there's certain things that we tell our clients, like we don't just run SEO and Google Ads. There's stuff that you guys can be doing on your own that we kind of coach you on, that people can do on a day-to-day basis that will really help, just build up your organic growth.
Yeah, absolutely. And you hit on it right there, but people can't join a marketing agency or hire a marketing agency, whether it be you or they go another route, whatever. You have to do things. You got to try to get as many reviews as you can. You've certainly got to be posting photos after every job we do on our way to the next one or on our way back home, wherever we're heading. I've posted photos from that job. We've submitted projects to the company that built our website, which Baylor does build websites. We had ours built about a year before we ran into Baylor. So he did not make our site, but he does make websites, and he can talk about that some. But point is, you have a lot to handle on your own. You cannot expect somebody to just plop in and now you're doing, 6 figures. If that was the case, we'd all be rich. But anyway, so talking about you versus, we had, like I said, another company that made our website before we ran into you. Why would somebody go with your service versus a separate company? And maybe you can talk a little bit about why you charge what you charge.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, there's a couple companies that actually specialize in your guys' industry that do good sites. They do all the basic SEO stuff, but then they don't really go beyond that, or they'll outsource you to another company anyway. When we build a site, we're doing everything in-house. We're not outsourcing things. I mean, there's a couple things that we outsource just because it's more cost effective to do that. But when we have full control of the back end of the site, there's a lot of stuff that we can do to optimize it. And some of these other companies, they build internally, so they don't give you access to the back end of the site. So you have to rely on them. So every time you want to make a change, you have to submit a request, and sometimes it takes forever. With us, people call us and I'll jump on the site right then and there. And by the time I'm off the call, we're making changes. So that's what I kind of like about just working with us. It's a little bit more boutique-y feel versus, some of these large companies that have thousands, sometimes tens of thousands of clients, depending on what company you go with. So that's the difference when it comes to websites. We don't build a ton of websites. They are very time consuming. But for the right client that's really wanting for us to do kind of a website and really partner with them for their SEO and also help them generate more calls and leads, those are the type of clients that we will take on to build the site for.
Yeah, absolutely. And when we're talking about you versus someone else, we actually we went with someone else prior to meeting Baylor. The results were iffy. I mean, obviously they weren't where we wanted them, or we would have never ran into Baylor.
Yeah.
And then last year, we more than doubled what we did in 2021 in sales. Even being we were taken completely off of Google My Business for a little over 2 months. So, and that's a sore topic for some of us, myself included, but it'll get us worked up. I'm sure you've probably had that issue with a lot of your customers lately. It was extremely inconvenient.
Yeah. I'll just add one thing too. We actually got some reviews taken off of our page that have still never came back.
Yeah.
So it just
11 reviews, and that may not sound like a lot, but when you're in a city as big as Huntsville is, it's a very competitive city. Really, when it comes to any business, it's a very growing city. It just reached the most populated in the state, and it's only going to go up. So, anyways, you talked a little bit about what you would want your customers to expect from you, but kind of put a cherry on top of that. When they call Baylor and they decide to hire Baylor, what's their, what do they need to be visioning for the next 60 days?
Yeah, for sure. Well, one is you're going to talk to me directly. My team is dedicated to making sure things are flowing smoothly. I don't have a sales team. We're pretty selective with who we bring on. We're not a sell type of agency, and I would avoid those at all costs because that's all they do. They're constantly trying to sell their churn. But yeah, I mean, what you can expect with us is just one-on-one. I mean, we're going to dissect everything before we get started. I'm going to look at how many people are searching for your services, what the cost per click is, what your competitors are doing. Like, there's tools that I have that I can spy to see exactly what they're spending on Google Ads. And it's pretty accurate. Sometimes it doesn't show, sometimes it does. But, that's why we monitor it daily. Especially the first 60, 90 days, because we need to make sure that we're staying in top rank, that we're getting relevant traffic without overspending our cost per click. But that's really something that people have appreciated working with us. It's just kind of that one-on-one. They don't feel like they're talking to a sales guy, just trying to earn a commission. They're really just, it's like, hey, I own my company. I'm not going to just, sign anybody for a fast company. It's just not worth it to us, So it's setting you up for success from the beginning and setting very clear expectations so that you have proper expectations set. So you don't think that, what you're going to get is, it is just not a reality. Now you do have to be willing to, like I said earlier, work with us. So because the first 30 days, it's a learning phase. We're trying to understand your market. And just like I said again earlier, just because it works in one market doesn't mean it's always going to work for your market. So there's a little bit of testing there. So you give us a realistic, I'm going to say it again, realistic monthly budget for your ads, for your market. We will be successful in time. But again, sometimes it's right out of the gate we get leads and it's just kicking butt. Other times it does take a little bit of time, and so that's the reality of any marketing company. So don't let anybody fool you different.
Yeah, and I'll add on that. I mean, for us, when we first started with you, it's basically just been a ramp up. I mean, it was started off kind of slow, and we saw a very good increase of call volume. And since then, we've still, phone has been ringing very, very, especially this year with us upping our ad spend again. Like you were saying, we started off with something for us that was realistic. And since we've had so much volume, call volume, and leads coming in, we've been able to up that. Which has really helped us for sure going into the summer here, and we're looking to hopefully knock on some wood with Baylor here double again this year. So I think there's a good chance we
do
it. Yeah. So
you can't, when he talks about a realistic market and a realistic ad spend, you can't expect, number one, anybody to 180 your business in 30 days, and then number two, and correct me if I'm wrong here, Baylor, but he's not after somebody who's just now standing up. Your target customer would be somebody who's already starting to walk a good bit, and they want to start jogging and running. They've gotten Google reviews. They've been posting photos. This is more of a take your business to the next level kind of customer that you're looking for, not necessarily a kick your business off.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, but there's always the one-off where somebody I can tell that's like, hey, I'm still putting out the signs. I'm still going door to door. They still have that grit and that grind. Like you can tell that they want. The people that just it's a side gig for them and they're not taking it very seriously and they expect us to just completely, revolutionize and just crush it out for them and they don't need to do anything else. Those are the type of clients that we just, that we used to take, but now at this point, it takes too much focus away from our solid core clients that are actually serious about this. So, we just, we'll most likely point you in a different direction, but yeah, you still got to do the fundamentals of the business. You can't just rely solely on, people searching for pressure washing company or exterior cleaning company.
Yeah, absolutely. And, guys, y'all take what you want with this video, but this is no, BS, excuse my French. We've been using him for over a year now. So I'm not on here to make him out to sound like he's some kind of god. I'm just telling you, he did a good job for us. Our channel's based on, sharing tips and tricks. Y'all seem to have enjoyed a lot of our on-job site videos. So I tried to, get with Baylor. We talked about a time we could do a call like this. I felt like he would be a really good asset, as he said many times, to the right person. So y'all call him. Baylor, do you have anything else that you'd like to share before we get out?
Yeah, so I mean, we kind of just I just want to make sure I just, reiterate as far as like, clear expectations. But anytime you schedule a call, I mean, it doesn't hurt to even schedule a call. I can run numbers for you, whether you work with us or not. If you are a serious company, do feel free to reach out. We can, at minimum, you'll walk away with some good information. I'll pull numbers for your market, see how many people are searching for what you do. And then, you can decide whether or not, what the best move is for your business. But we provide some pretty good insight for companies just so they know their market and kind of understand what's going on online. Because nothing is a better lead than somebody that needing your services, looking for you. We do Facebook ads as well, but that's a promotional. The leads there, typically aren't as good as somebody going on looking for your service. Versus going that route, which is more of a promotional awareness type of marketing. That's a whole other video for that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's what you can expect with this. Just straight up, honest conversation, casual conversation. Will never be, pushy sales tactics, none of that. So,
Yeah. Well, guys, I'm going to put his phone number. I'm going to put a link to his website in the description of the video. Like I said, I'll reiterate on some of the things I've said. This is all tried and tested. We're already on track to, if not double, come real close to doubling from last year again this year. So all we can do is continue to, do the things that we know how to do, and we'll leave Baylor to do the things he knows how to do, and that's how we're going to double again. So
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, this channel's about just transparency. We're a business that we started from the ground up, from the pickup truck, from the back of the pickup truck to now big old 18-foot trailer and a backup trailer. So it's definitely, you take your steps, but in our opinion, our honest opinion, Baylor is a great step in the right direction for a company that's really trying to get to that next level and just start beating out other companies that aren't willing to go that route. They're not willing to pay for a professional to do their marketing. And we're really glad that we went with them. So
yeah, absolutely. Well, guys, hey, I appreciate all of you checking into the video.
absolutely.
If you made it to the end of the video, comment Web PDX. Let us know you reached out to him. It does him a big favor, and we'd love to help as many people out as we can in the community. So once again, appreciate y'all watching, and Baylor, thanks for joining us, man.
yeah, thanks for having me, guys.
Y'all take it easy.